What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin, the Screen Squad, going over Penguin episode 2 and 3 today. If you saw my first review for the premiere of the Penguin, you'll know how much I profess my enjoyment of what we've seen so far. And episode 2 and 3 just carry that on more so than before. The Penguin episode 2 continues the evolution of Oz Cobb as he works to become a major kingpin in Gotham. Possessing unbridled ambition, Oz is doing everything that he can to survive in this new Max series while also claiming more power and influence in a landscape that's becoming increasingly more volatile following Carmine Falcone's death in the Matt Reeves' The Batman. After narrowly avoiding execution by pinning the blame for Alberto Falcone's murder, on the Maroni crime family, the Penguin episode 2 continues Oz's secret new relationship with the Maronis while still professing loyalty to the Falcones. To that end, the Penguin episode 2 ends with Oz barely avoiding exposure again, while also forging a new alliance that promises to be as rewarding as it is unpredictable. There's some things like I noticed in this, like Sofia Falcone is still in therapy, suffering from nightmares about Arkham and now Alberto. Penguin proposes an alliance with the Maronis. They take credit for Alberto's murder, and he gives them the Falcone drops operation in exchange. You get the Maronis hitting the Falcone's drug convoy, and Penguin finds himself in the middle of the firefight when he didn't even initially intend on being there. He kind of got caught crossfire. He made it out alive. We meet Luca Falcone, who is running the crime family and is looking to push Sofia out of Gotham. The radio confirms that the crime rate in Gotham is 42% and that Sofia killed several women and became known as the Hangman. And there's inklings to Oz's involvement in her being sent to Arkham. He did something. We're not directly told what yet. I don't know. Maybe we'll get that. But Penguin's mother's dementia is getting worse. She pressures Oz to succeed and give her a better life. Penguin tells Sofia about his brother's deaths at Alberto's funeral and also tells Sofia that his mother's dead. Obviously trying to keep eyes off of his family because he doesn't want anything to happen to her. The Penguin promises to get Irvad back to the Maronis, and he tries to pin the leak about the convoy on underboss Johnny Vitti, which things go sideways. Victor is not as slick as he actually thought he was as far as placing the jewels inside of Vitti's car. Penguin has pictures of Vitti hooking up with Luca Falcone's wife, and he plans on using that plus the jewels being placed in his car as leverage to put Alberto's the leak, the rat within the family, put it on Vitti, which was a good plan initially, but goes kind of sideways. This meant Oz had to improvise at the end of the Penguin episode 2, especially after the Falcones locked the house down after finding Irvad, the Maroni thug Sofia had secretly brought to the house to interrogate, which was the same one Penguin was supposed to save, which he ended up stabbing and killing Irvad. Penguin plants the knife he used on Sofia's man Castillo. He also had the jewels planted at Castillo's place, further implicating him as the one behind the hit on the convoy. And while he didn't get Vitti like he originally wanted, Penguin still managed to deter suspicion from himself. And it's revealed Oz doesn't come from a wealthy family. In the original comics, Oswald Cobblepot typically comes from a family of wealth and influence. However, this isn't the case in the Batman universe. Instead, it's revealed that Oz Cobb lived with his two brothers and mother in Crown Point, and they didn't have much growing up, which explains Oz's great ambition. Likewise, Oz shares with Sofia that both of Cobb's brothers died when they were kids, leaving him alone with just his mother. It's really going to be fascinating to see what else might be revealed about Oz's past as the Penguin continues. After all, the comics version of Penguin also became an only child following the death of his brothers, though that was because he secretly killed them to gain more of his mother's undivided attention. While that doesn't necessarily mean the Penguin's Oz did the same thing to his brothers, there's certainly a comic precedent for it. And there's a moment where, because of Victor's screw up, that Penguin threatens his life once again, showing that he doesn't think he could trust him yet, or he at least has to step it up and earn that trust. Oz is not yet the major crime boss that he hopes to become. At the moment, there aren't many people he can order around like he has with Victor. It's more than likely that Penguin enjoys having Victor at his side, appreciating the company while also enjoying the bit of power he has over him. And to that end, it makes sense that he'd give the kid another chance, which he does. Sofia, by the end of the episode, we discover Sofia wants to take over the crime family for herself. Angered by the family that's trying to push her out, she decides to take matters into her own hands at the end of episode 2, and she intends to take her seat at the head of the table by force. And, as the daughter of Carmine Falcone, Sofia likely feels like she's owed the top leadership role as an inheritance, seeing the true heir to the throne, if you will, Alberto, was murdered by Penguin, that she would be logically the next in line for that role. And additionally, clearly feels resentment toward the family about her time in Arkham. It's likely connected to the fact that she was exonerated, suggesting there's more at play behind Sofia's past as the hangman beyond simply having a mental breakdown and killing 7 women. But it's clear by the end of the episode 2 that she isn't going to take Luca's attempt at pushing her out of Gotham and the family lying down, and she decides to trust Oz. They partner up by the end. She decides she wants Oz to help her take over the family, taking him up on his earlier offers for them to join forces with the new drug operation she and Alberto had been working on. Even though she had just accused Penguin of killing Alberto, Sofia knows she's short on allies and that the road ahead will be an uphill, bumpy one. And it seems Sofia trusts Oz just enough to work with him for the time being. Now, this is obviously an alliance that will fall apart the moment it's revealed that Oz was indeed Alberto's killer. That said, it also works in Oz's favor that he was once Sofia's driver, meaning she likely underestimates all that he's truly capable of. For now. As such, it's going to be very exciting to see just how far Sofia and Oz's relationship goes as new allies and inevitable rivals as this Penguin series continues. Which leads into last night's episode 3, which, oh my god, I loved. I know I said this from the premiere, but her performance as Sofia Falcone, whoa. And Colin Farrell being Oz, every episode, he just steps it up on what he's capable of and his delivery of the character. Same with Vic. Oh my god, Vic's arc right now. So this episode starts, I didn't realize it was a flashback till certain things happen, but we're treated to a little backstory of Vic's family. As he goes home, he meets up with his girlfriend, then he rushes home, gives some stuff to his parents and his sister. We meet his father, Juan, who's busy cooking dinner. He voices his concern about Vic going to spend time with his friends for fireworks for the election. And that's when it clicks. Like, okay, this is something that happened during the timeline of the Batman film, with the election about to take place or about to be announced. And he goes up to the roof of the building with his girlfriend and a bunch of friends, and then all of a sudden bombs start going off. That is in fact the Riddler blowing holes all over the city of Gotham, blowing up the seawall, flooding the streets. And you see this, and it's important to see it through Vic's eyes because that's how his family died in the flood. Now, episode 3 ends up on a major cliffhanger while also setting up Oz's next big challenge as he seeks to take control of Gotham's underworld. So, it starts with that, and then we're led into Sofia bringing Penguin into her new drug operation, the drug known as Bliss. Bliss is apparently something that her and the other inmates, patients at Arkham were given to subdue them, make them more compliant. And it's like a red liquid that is produced out of the spores of mushrooms, apparently. And from what we've seen, this drug looks to be like an evolved form of like ecstasy or something. Because we see at the club when they're trying to influence the triad to take their side, that everybody just seems to make them very horny. Very, very, very. And everyone's just having a good time in the club. Vic's on bag duty. And we see some of his PTSD take over. When lights and things start like going off, he starts having flashbacks to the Riddler's blowing up of the seawall. Overall, like it's very cool to see his side of things because you see the relationship between him and Oz. And Oz, yeah, Oz bosses him around, but he also wants to see the kid succeed. Maybe in his own weird, twisted way, but like, he doesn't want the kid to fail. They go out to eat, and he's asking him questions about his family. They toast to his father, when in reality, that wasn't just a nice moment, it was Oz at work setting up Johnny Vitti. Because now it's revealed that Johnny Vitti is, in fact, hooking up with Luca's wife. And he gets set up by Sofia and Oz to make a phone call to the Triad, basically saying he's backing them, even though he's really not. He just threatened Sofia's life with a ticket to Italy and said if she doesn't leave in 2 days, that's where he's telling people she went. So they set up Johnny Vitti to take the fall in a lot of ways, which leads to the club scenes with all these girls setting out throughout the club with the bliss drug, trying to impress the leader of the Triads to take the deal, which he does. We have this cool moment between Oz and Victor because Victor's considering leaving to go to California with his girlfriend. And the whole episode, Vic is trying to find a way to tell Oz that he wants to leave, but he can't. And then when he's in the bathroom on his phone, Oz comes in, takes the phone, sees that he's leaving, and he takes that as you're going to leave with my drugs and my money. But that wasn't the case. They have this deep conversation where Oz is like, I'm not pointing a gun at your head. Like, if you want to leave, leave. Just know, like, it's gonna suck. So Vic leaves. He goes to meet his girlfriend at the bus station. And instead of getting out of the car and going with her, he watches her leave. It's very sad because you could feel the character of Vic wants to remain as human as possible, but knows that if he goes with her, yeah, he'll be happy, but he'll never get out of the rut of not having anything. Whereas if he's with Penguin, he knows that he can make a name for himself, just like the Penguin did, being Sofia's driver. So he heads back and he comes across, back at the club, Sofia and Oz are on their knees from the Maronis, about to be gunned down, and then Vic just kicks it into high gear, runs into them, but the Maronis are looking for revenge on Penguin, which is weird. I mean, it's not weird, I get it. While Maroni might still be imprisoned in Blackgate Prison, his wife still runs the Maronis in his name. To that end, Nadia arrives with armed men at the end of episode 3, guns drawn on Oz and Sofia, confirming they've been watching Oz. The Maronis aren't pleased with Oz making new deals with Bliss, when he already promised a new drug to Salvatore in exchange for taking credit for Penguin's murder of Alberto Falcone. As such, their intent to kill Penguin for his betrayal is certainly bad news, even though Oz does end up surviving this altercation. And like I said, Vic decides to stay in Gotham and return to Penguin, likely because Victor's ambition has outweighed his previous moral convictions, and he returns just in time to save Oz from the Maronis, who had guns to the Penguin's head, likely meaning that all is forgiven between the duo and the episodes of the Penguin that are still to come. It's clear Oz abandoned Sofia by the end of the Penguin episode 3. While Victor rams Oz's car into one of the Maronis and drives off with Oz jumping into the passenger seat, he tells Victor to leave Sofia behind. Remarkably, this was followed by gunfire, the implication that something bad might have happened to Sofia off-screen. However, Sofia dying at the hands of the Maronis is an extremely unlikely outcome, considering future footage from the Penguin's trailers and how much of Sofia's past remains a mystery. And what this truly means, personally, is Oz abandoning Sofia is more likely their brief alliance in the Penguin has already come to an end. Instead, it's also more likely that Sofia was either cashing in or something that was said either to or by the Maronis unheard by viewers. Perhaps the Maronis exposed Oz for what he did to Alberto, or perhaps Cobb himself sold out Sofia, again for the sake of his own survival. Either way, Oz abandoning Sofia to the Maroons is a big deal, and I guess we'll find out more come Sunday for episode 4. If you like this review, again, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, leave a comment, and stay tuned. If you like the show stay tuned for a review for season 3 so far. That's coming up very, very soon. Until then, I'm Kev with the Screen Squad.